Hi, this is Guy Mariel Stinson. Welcome to Ethical Kingdom Trader. Today we're going to look at the subject of why it is absolutely essential for you to learn to trade the right way. And please notice I want to emphasize the right way, because there is a right and a wrong way to trade. You'll see at the bottom we've got Matthew 6 verses 33. Seek first the kingdom of God and his righteousness. Because I am the founder of several ministries, namely the empoweredkingdom.com, and my mission is to help people become wise with kingdom principles applied in the practical world. And so this is one of the initiatives that come out of that. One of the ministry projects is One Kingdom University. And this training is offered under that banner as a free event by One Kingdom University. If you want to attend this, you can click on the events tab. It'll take you through to this page, scroll down, and you will see a calendar of this training event and similar, which you can attend in future. Now, we do need to pay our rent, so a lot of the training will come with an offer at the end of it. However, we try to give as much value as we can in the training itself. So with that in mind, let's dive into the subject for today. So what we want to look at today is how trading works and why it is absolutely essential for you to learn to trade the right way. And the first thing I want to say about this is it does not need to be complicated. I know when you look at the charts, it looks mind-numbing, it looks complicated, convoluted. When you listen to the news, it sounds, you've got all these experts backwards and forwards, and it's just noise and confusion and complexity, and it seems to be extremely difficult. But what I aim to do is to show people the crux, the absolute essence, to pull out the simplicity of it so that anybody can take charge of their own life and control of their own money, which is really what this is all about. It's about teaching you to take the reins of your own money, because as a mentor of mine once said, nobody is more interested in your money than you are. So with that in mind, where does your money go? Stop a moment and think about the hard work you put in every month. You work hard. At the end of the month, you get a paycheck. Where does that money go? It goes to the bank. Then you sit down with a financial advisor or insurance broker, and they say, look, you've got to prepare for your retirement. So you put your money away in a 401k, into mutual funds, into stocks, into bonds, into insurance policies. But the question is, where does your money go? You're paying them a premium, but where is that money going? Well, the answer in many, if not most cases, it goes directly to the stock market, where it is traded on your behalf. Others take your money and they trade on your behalf. The problem with that is that very often it's not traded the best way possible for you, and very often you will have no idea how much you're actually losing in the process. Now, there was a chart that absolutely opened my mind and my eyes to this subject, which I will show you next, but let's just cover the basics here, and for those who are new to trading. So the first basic is that when you see these lines and these squiggles on the chart, what do they represent? They basically represent the history of the price of this chart or this commodity, this share, whatever it may be. In this case, it's a silver ETF. And over time, so every time somebody buys, it puts a point on the chart. Every time somebody sells, it puts a point on the chart. And the progress of the price over time then forms these patterns, these charts. And as you go through this, you will see that the chart may rise strongly. And when they do that, that's an indication that there are more buyers. There's more demands wanting the price to go up. They're investing so they can sell in future at a better price than they bought in. And those buyers are referred to as bulls. They are bullish about the market. And you get what are known as bull runs, as you can see here. Mostly green bars going up, the price rising steeply because the bulls outnumber the bears, and which want to pull the price down. So if you have more sellers in opposition to the bulls and they start winning the game, well, then it starts pulling the price down and you get what are known as bear runs. And the direction in which the price goes is known as a trend. So if we look at the arrow for the bull run, the trend is up. Then it goes through a period of going sideways. You can see the pattern is not, the highs and lows are within a range. That is a sideways trend. And then it hits our bear run and the trend is downwards. So those are the basics of charting to get us going. Next, we want to know that, oh, and by the way, you will often see related to stock market trading, you will see a symbol of a bear and a bull. And it basically is a depiction of this struggle that's going between the ups and the downs. The bears and the bulls are fighting to get dominance, and this just goes on forever. So they're always locked in battle, and it's an interesting symbol. Let's bring this down and make this real for you and I. We are all going to grow old. This is just something we cannot avoid. It's a fact of life. And there's also a fact of life, and that is we get to a stage where we can't work as hard as we used to. We lose our jobs, we retire, and now we've got 10, 20, 30 years ahead of us in which we need to have the financial stamina or reserves to make it through that period. And it's a very concerning subject. It's something that my business, if you need consulting on this, it's one of the specialties. I work with retirement planning and then also trading, stock market trading, which I am showing you now. The retirement planning to plan out the resources we're able to generate over time, and stock market trading is a way that you can generate resources even after retirement. So here's mom and dad or uncle and aunt, or us, in fact, me and my partner, my wife, my spouse, whoever, we decide we are going to be responsible. We know we've got to face retirement, so let's get ready in time. And so what we do is we say, let's go speak to an advisor. So off we go to the advisor. He says, how much money do you have? We say, we've got 100,000. We've worked really hard for this. We don't want to lose it. We're really concerned about being safe and secure in our retirement. He says, well done. You are making the right move. He pats us on the back. He says, you guys are good investors. You've come to me. He says, so let's take that 100,000 and let's put it into a stock which is going to be safe and secure. It's an insurance company stock. And we're going to put you in at $4. So at the bottom, you see the years are marked out. This being in 1980, when I saw this chart, it was around about 210, that period of time. So anyhow, and by the way, this is not financial advice or whatever. This is illustrative for educational purposes only, hoping to share empowering concepts with you. So your advisor says, let's put 100,000 into the share at $4 a share in 1980. You say, thank you very much, and you come back 29 years later because now you're ready to retire. And lo and behold, he says, fine, we'll sell your shares out. And oh, they're still at $4 a share. He says, aren't you glad you invested with me? You say, why? He says, well, because the market has been up and down and you haven't lost anything. I've kept your money safe. And you say, what a good investor this guy has been for us. We did the right thing. But there's a bigger picture here. And the question is, what happened in between? Because the result in reality is that you went from $4 to $4. In other words, your value did not increase at all. And then there's the impact of inflation. And inflation over the last 30 years from today has eroded buying power by plus minus 52%. You can get that by looking at the CPI. And in other words, they actually lost $52,000 of buying power. Their $100,000 will end up being worth about $48,000 when they come to sell it at 29 years later. Is there a better way? And I would say to you, yes, because between the buy and the sell part of this equation, the market is dynamic. It doesn't just sit around. It's been doing things. It's been rising and falling. And so now what if we start tapping into that? Something like a wave generator at sea. So I don't know if you've seen them, but as the wave comes in, it rises, it generates electricity. As the swirl passes, it falls, it generates electricity. So can't we use this rising and falling process in the markets to generate further gains or income? And the answer is yes. So for example, if you had bought $100,000 at $100,000 at a price of $4, and you had sold it 20 years later at around about the top end of this, what would the result have been? The result would have been that your $100,000 would grow to plus minus $750,000. So instead of losing $48,000 or $52,000 due to the eroding effect of inflation, in this scenario, you have gained $750,000. It's an extraordinary and shocking difference. And this chart, when I saw this, this is what began to open my eyes to how important it is to know this information and to share this information. Now, I offer this information in courses ranging from a couple of $100 up. And the question is, let's just say the event that I'm offering would be $1,000. Is it worth paying $1,000 to realize $750,000 gain? And that's a question you obviously need to answer for yourself, right? I'm not here to force or hype or pressure, but it's a question which is valid and important for you to consider. Anyhow, so here we have buy to sell is basically a horizontal line with zero earnings. Whereas if with a little bit of information and understanding, buy to sell could have been $750,000. Would that have made her a difference in their retirement? Absolutely yes. Profoundly so. But the picture is even more profound. For example, if we look at how traders know when to buy or sell, they use what are known as indicators. They have a number of methodologies, but one of the things a lot of them use are indicators. And an indicator basically means an indication of where the price is going to be in the future. So they're looking for things that will indicate where the price is so they can get an idea of when to buy and when to sell. So let's go back to our chart. We buy at the same place in 1980. And we draw a mark or a point at the low points in the chart, in the price chart. And when we start connecting those together, we can put a line through them and we can extend that line. That creates for us a supporting trend line. And the strategy is very simple. Remember, I said it does not need to be complicated. So the strategy is very, very simple. So long as the price stays above the trend line, you stay in the market, and when it crosses, as it does here, that is your sell signal. You get out. Very simple. However, you can make this even better by, as you can see, when the price rises more steeply, again, you adjust your trend line and you connect the dots, and now you've got a more optimum exit point to sell at. And this is just using indicators, right? I'm taking 5-10 minutes to explain this to you, and it's not that complicated. And just as a disclaimer, in case somebody wants to, get mad about this, there is more to this than what I'm showing you here, but I'm reducing the concepts to a minimum so that you can grasp them easily, and that's my specialty. So the result of that, if you bought 100,000 at a price of 4 and you sold it out at a price of 15, you would now have plus minus $375,000. But remember, the market moves in waves or in cycles, and then after our sell point, it drops again. And so we can do the reverse. I'm not going to go into the details of that, but also again using indicators gives us an optimum buy point. Again, we connect the low points, which gives us another sell point. Now on this leg, if we take our 375 bought in at $10 and then sold out at $18, we now have grown our money to $675,000. We do it again, draw our supporting trend lines, follow the market up, find our optimum exit point. We exit at that point. If we do that onto the third leg, guess what our result is? Versus where we would have got out with zero gain, we are now looking at getting out with 1.12 million at the $30 price point. The difference is staggering. It is huge. And what is the difference and what makes the difference? It's knowing how to use these things. Hosea 4 verses 6 says, "My people perish for lack of knowledge, and my mission is to help empower people with the right knowledge." So I hope this makes sense to you. And I said to you at the end of this training, I will give you a special offer. 75% of the regular price for those who respond to this. Say, "Guy, we saw your presentation, how to trade, and the chart that opened your eyes, and I will give it to you at this price." So with that in mind, thank you for watching. This is brought to you by One Kingdom University as part of their free education. Again, if you accept the offer or not accept the offer, that's up to you. There's no pressure. We don't bait and switch. We don't drag you through another 40 minutes of how, this is worth that and all these marketing gimmicks. You have it there. We know you're intelligent enough and you're mature enough to make your own decisions without pressure from our side. Integrity is extremely important to us. So if you're interested in more education like this, different subjects, different speakers, different topics every Saturday, you're free to join us. Click on the events tab and you will see what's available. You can register there. Once again, I believe that learning to trade the right way is absolutely essential. It has the power of being able to give you an income source to preserve your retirement, even if you lose your job, even if you are incapable of working because of age. You can trade anywhere in the world via a laptop with an internet connection, and you just need a basic set of skills and knowledge to do it safely and securely and the right way. I hope that's been informative for you. Thank you so much. Please invite friends, family to like, share, and follow our page and join us for our Saturday training. Be very blessed in all that you do. I wish you well.